It's pretty late, but I wanted to do movie ideas and video games ideas. These videos never do well on my page, but I kind of just enjoy doing them. I'm an ideas guy. I come up with tons and tons of fucking ideas, and believe it or not, they're good ideas. Just people don't believe in them, or they want to teach me a lesson. And fuck them up. I wanted to do a movie called Self-Righteous, obviously based off of how all these people reacted to me. A guy that just did the right thing because it was the right thing his entire life, and these losers had to prove to me I'm garbage, which, okay, I'm garbage, you win. But in this movie, you'd have a Superman kind of character. None of that kryptonite shit. He would just be all around perfect, and then there would be these guys, the B-team heroes that aren't as good as him, and they would be like, self-righteous, he's self-righteous, and they would have to prove it, because this is pseudoscience logic. They have to prove this guy is full of shit. So the first part of the movie would be these guys investigating this guy, checking his email, and just trying to figure out where this guy's kinks are, where his faults are, because they just can't handle the fact that that guy's a good guy, and he has values, and they have no values. The lower heroes in this have no values. They're rapists, they're drug dealers, they do all the bad things, and their excuse for it is bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. There's no reason, like, in this universe, like, heroes would be paid for, like, being heroes, so they would be making money, but because they're losers, they don't do as well. In the really good dude, like Mr. All-American Freedom Guy, or whatever the fuck you want to call him, would actually be a good person. That would be the entire thing. Keyword, would be a good person. The other dudes set out to destroy him. So, we'll talk about, like, one of the guys is, because he's, like, a lower hero or whatever. Like, let's say he's, like, one of these guys at the church. He can just hypnotize anybody. So, at some point, the hypnosis dude figures out that the superpowered guy is actually weak to hypnosis. So he hypnotizes him into violating every value this guy has and makes him into an absolutely deplorable, inhuman, like, monster. And they're like, yeah, we got him! We brought him down to our level instead of moving ourselves up to his because we're losers! And they're all, like, high-fiving and shit. And the hero dude, when he comes out of it, he doesn't know what he's done until he sees it on TV, and then you get to see his entire face just slowly, imagine this, like, cinematically. Some hero, like Superman, who has this positive vibe face, as this dude is watching on, like, hundreds of monitors around him all the atrocities he committed, and his face just starts twisting and breaking, and he slowly morphs into a Joker. I remember my brother telling me that something about my psychology, I'm Joker-fied. I just believe in, like, killing people and shit now, which is something I didn't do before, which I think was a sign of subconscious damage, but we're not gonna, it's not about me. So, you watch, like, Superman's face slowly break into the Joker, giggling, smiling laughter, and the other guys are like, we got him, and then fucking, as they're high-fiving, and the Superman guy goes full Joker and just starts cackling like a maniac. One of those dudes, like, they're like 5 or 6 losers, you know, like, you gotta have, like, the group of dudes. One of them gets a call from his wife, and she's screaming as this guy, the superhero dude they fucked up, is now murdering his family and beating his wife to death slowly, and he's letting her call him as she begs for her life, and then he fucking kills her. And then the dude's like, we may have gone too far, and these guys, all slowly, as this dude starts losing his shit and murdering people, and just go, they take the world's greatest hero and turn him into a monster because of their envy, because they're jealous, because they're insecure, because they're pathetic, and they're weak people, and they can't deal with the fact that they are weak, insecure, pathetic people. And they try to control shit they can't fucking control. Okay? That is just a fact. So when this dude tumbles out of control and he just goes Joker-fied and he just starts making the world a worse place, he starts, like, the main soup starts causing wars and just just ruining life for everyone. These guys are the only people that know actually what happened, and there isn't anybody on the planet that can stop this guy. So those dudes have to take responsibility. Yeah, the insecure losers that fucked everything up to begin with have to take responsibility and try to stop this guy. And they just can't because he's that powerful. And they damaged him that far bad. He is gone. We'll say, like, maybe they even poison him with something, and then they're like, oh, dude, it's easy. Just, inject him with needles, and then you can get the poison out of him, or just give him, like, like chelation therapy or something. And then they're like, well, you actually, he has super skin, and we can't give him chelation therapy. Actually, because of his biology, that poison you put in him is in there permanently. He's gone. There is no saving this hero that was one of the greatest guys on the planet that these people corrupted. So these guys who fuck up immediately try to blame him, claiming they didn't do anything. They're the victims in it. And then fucking one of the guys in the group that has some kind of conscience, like the real loser of the group, he releases the video of them poisoning, torturing, harassing, tricking, hypnotizing, and fucking up the main super guy. So suddenly the whole world knows that this guy is murdering people and shit because he is the victim of these 4 or 5 bastards. Because the one guy leaks it. So that dude, as they go to his house and try to get to him, I don't know, maybe he has some kind of, give him like a phasing ability. Maybe it was him that actually poisoned the real super dude's like drink or something, They go to his house and that dude just straight up blows his brains out in front of them. Just like crying and laughing and then just blows his brains out. No. He has like a phasing ability. He phases his head onto like a steel bar and then goes solid and he just dies. That would be fucking epic. And watch a hero kill themselves with their own abilities. That would be crazy. So the other dudes are like, oh, we gotta figure out. So like the hypnosis dude and the other guys try to figure out some way of calling or getting to this guy. But there's a moment, okay? There's a moment where the bloodbath is going on. The whole world doesn't know how to deal with this guy. They launch a nuke. They sacrifice one entire part of the planet to hurt the super guy, and it doesn't work. Nuclear fucking bombs and shit don't stop him. The only thing they successfully do is kill millions of innocent people. So the super dude, they lure him out, and the guys are trying to apologize to him. And then he just proceeds to keep trying to kill him. Like they're using all their abilities, and maybe there's some other heroes that are crazy enough to help him. They're using everything they have to just try and talk this guy down, even though they know they made him mentally ill. He is fucking crazy, and he has all the power. He is the most dangerous thing on the planet, a lunatic with fucking power. And he is far removed from himself. And like I said, there's no fixing what they did. There isn't any fixing. The guy is like almost like a Cthulhu-esque demonic entity they created with their actions. So somehow, some bullshit, they end up using some crazy guy power, whatever, end up like imprisoning this guy in some kind of prison or some kind of quantum area where he just can't get out of, but they can like observe him. And that would probably be the end of the movie. And it would be one of those movies where those guys are fucked up themselves because they fucked that guy up and he went and murdered their families in horrific ways. So they have PTSD from what they did to him. But then there's this kind of like who is the real victim would be the movie would make everybody feel like shit. That would be the end goal of the movie, is to make everybody feel like shit. Because we need movies like that. We need movies that make people feel like shit so they know how to work toward being better people. And I think the guys at the end, they would read a letter from the one dude that exposed them and told the whole world what they did, the guy that committed suicide. And the letter would... he would point out the problem with them is they had no values to begin with. That would be the thing. He'd go, we had no values to begin with. So there you go. That's why this guy seems self-righteous to us, because he actually had values. And he was like, and the whole thing would just point out that, the letter would just point out that they were jealous, they were envious, and they killed that guy. Now, the other idea I had was, in Fable 2, you can choose to be a good or bad person, but it's a lot easier to be a bad person in the game, not gonna lie. But I would like a Fable game, not just Fable 2, but the Fable series. You can choose to be a villain or a good guy, and you're still the hero no matter what. You can be a dark hero or a good hero. I want a mission in a Fable game where, you know, like, there's this thing in the game, like churches, you know, the definitively good church, definitively evil church. I would like to kind of turn that on its head a little bit, where, you would have a character in it, a divine character that just wants to do the right thing, an altruist, a character that is a strong, good person that is actually trying to help people. And if you align with them in the game, you would get to become like the good hero, okay? And you'd be forcing the darkness out of Albion. You'd be working against the criminal guys, and they'd be like, you know, your evil villain dudes. But on the other end, there would be this thing where you get to choose to, if you choose to be evil, this character you're working on, we'll say like you chose to be a guy, so it's a woman, and like if you choose to be a woman, it's a guy that's like the good character. It's a thing in Fable. So this person who's like that's pro working class and pro socialism and is just trying to help people legitimately. You basically join the evil guy side, and the evil guy side, you're like, oh, she's out there, she's trying to help people, and we know suffering brings about your highest self, and then you get to listen to the evil dude's self-righteous chestnut about how his father left him in a dumpster when he was a kid, and he had to fight his way out, and blah, 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 and how he learned how to do all the wrong things to survive, and it's totally worth it, and he starts telling you about it, and you know, you align with him, so you go after this woman because that guy's like, suffering's good for you. Now the twist with this guy would be, his entire thing is money, and if your religion is money, then you're all of the same religion. He actually, this woman's pro-working class, pro-socialism, pro-helping people, all this shit is the shit that helps the working class. That's the truth in the game. But this dude doesn't make it about classism. He makes it about how goodness makes people soft. He makes them weak. And you know that you have to make life hard on people. So as this girl, when you're doing the evil missions, as she's trying to help people, you're deliberately hurting the people she's trying to help. You join her team, fake, and you make decisions falsely while communicating with her. So she'll be like, oh, you know, serve the soup at the soup kitchen, and then you just go and put some poison in it that makes everybody stupid. You know, obviously a reference to heavy metals, but you just make them all stupid, and the other evil dude's like, good, now they'll be easy to control and too stupid to think about complex things like social order and constructs. Now they're stupid, and we're gonna have a nation of idiots. You would also be like, stealing good people out of the poor neighborhoods and bringing it to the evil dude so that he can human traffic them to the ultra rich so they can have their debaucherous crazy things. In the Fable series, it's alluded to, the bourgeoisie are all Balverines, and that would be a pretty good fucking thing for this to be. Like, the rich people in the game are all Balverines, and they need to eat the poor class, literally eat the poor class. That's a metaphor for capitalism right there. But the other thing is as you progress through the game, this girl you're working against, you slowly fuck her up, okay? She goes from being like a beautiful young woman to, because you poison her, she starts looking ill, she starts aging faster, and as the thing goes on, like, you knock her teeth out at one point, and you just keep fucking her up, and then it gets to the point the guy's like, she's not stopping, she keeps trying to help people, we need you to go murder her family. So then in the game, you just go and murder her family to teach her a fucking lesson, but she doesn't stop, and you just keep hurting this woman that keeps trying to help other people, and you do not stop at all. And eventually she loses her shit, in the game, and then she basically decides to just side with evil, and then the guy's like, good, good, now she's evil even though she's hideous, all fucked up. You managed to brutalize her beyond recognition, ruin her life. At some point you like light her on fire. I mean, really fuck this character up. And it is all disproportionate torture because this guy's like, suffering's good for you, suffering's good for you, it's good for you, it's good. And then she mutates into the worst monstrous boss, and she completely devastates the poor class like district by herself. Just destroys everything because she's a mutant monster. And I mean like Resident Evil style mutant monster. Like she went between dimensions and fucking turned into a fucking monster because you made her a monster. And I'd make it so, this is the thing about Fable. When you play bad, when you're the bad guy in the game, you're never really punished for it. But this would be a punishment because the boss would be damn near unstoppable. And a lot of the progress you made as a character would get destroyed by her somehow. Anything from, she would have like a leech ability to steal your character experience, to like if you built like a house of millions of dollars, it would get destroyed by this mutant monster that creature becomes, and it would just completely wreck your progress. So even though you played dirty the entire time, you would still lose at the end of the game. That would be cool. Okay, that would be fucking cool. And vice versa, if you play against, if you help that woman and you start playing against the evil dude that works for the bourgeoisie and he's trying to fuck up all the poor people and shit, and you start fucking him up, you slowly realize, one, that guy isn't so tough after all. He's actually super effeminate, and he's kind of a pussy as you start fucking terrorizing him, and you start slowly revealing shit like about him, that he's just full of shit the entire time. He's just a fucking liar about everything he does, all the way to the end when I guess he ends up in prison or some shit. I don't know. It's however Fable would do it. That would be an incredible arc. But as this woman's life is being destroyed, you have to have the voice actor really communicate the suffering you are causing this good person. It should make you feel bad. There's that game, Undertale. People love it because of the feels. This would be the same thing, except in the opposite direction. It wouldn't be the feels of Undertale. It would be the horror. Like, people would have to, her screams and cries would have to give people PTSD. Trust me, this would be an amazing game, and it would make anybody think twice about being the bad guy. And it would explore the reasons why people do the wrong things, too. That would be another side of it. Trust me, this would be a really good idea. If you put that into a Fable game and really worked out all the kinks and cleaned it up, and you gotta have it going both ways. You also have to be fucking, when you get to fuck with the evil guy, there should be a satisfactory because you're doing good and you are fucking up that guy's life and all of his bullshit. I would go as far to say that, like, this dude tells you the story that he was a poor orphan put in a dumpster, but then you just find out he was the son of a rich fuck, and the rich fuck didn't play with him because he was too busy making money. And this guy doesn't want poor people getting money because it's his only thing, it's his power. And if other people get rich, if other people live meaningful lives, and he's not special because his only specialness is money. I would go that far, that this guy's just so full of shit on every fucking level, and he plays dirty at everything. He's like Blondie, that Blondie guy I keep talking about. He cheats at everything because it's the only way he knows how to win. And then you just completely fuck him up. But like I said, if you choose the bad path and you go after the good character, I want, like, literal people calling and be like, this is extremely traumatic. Like, in this game, you know, like, like I said, the character has, like, a family, and you have to go murder her family. Like, you go and her husband, like, tries to defend, like, her son, and you murder her husband, and then fucking, you can do this in Fable, it's a thing. And the kid runs into the room, and he's, like, begging you to go away, and you're breaking down the door, and he's screaming for his life, and you get in there, and you just fucking murder his ass, and just all scream. Trust me. The more horror, the more like I said, it would have to make people feel like shit playing the game. People would have to go, I don't ever want to play as a bad character, ever. This is just disgusting. Like, and that would be a great game, because once again, it would get people talking about right and wrong. Yeah.